Hello, it looks like we are live. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Plant-Based Running, Plant-Based Performance Tip Tuesdays with myself, Coach Kayla. I'm an online plant-based dietitian, nutrition run coach, and my specialization as a dietitian is helping plant-based runners and endurance athletes fuel properly and help them to just feel good in general. So, today we're going to be talking about how to train for a marathon. And I know right now is a big marathon, really the start of marathon training season for a lot of people for fall marathons. So, I wanted to talk about this, and was also a suggestion from somebody in member of the Facebook community, the plant based running Facebook community. So, how to here are some tips on how to train for a marathon. Number one, follow a training plan. There are especially if you're new to marathon training, once you kind of get more of a seasoned marathon runner, you may not necessarily follow a plan, but to begin with, especially if you're new, it's really great to follow a training plan. There are a lot of free training plans out there that you can use. One that sticks out to me just because I know a lot of people use it, as well as what I used for many years before I hired a run coach myself, was Hal Higdon's training marathon plan. So those are really nice. I believe he has beginner, intermediate, so those work really well. Or hire a run coach if you really want to work on, really specifically getting better, having PRs, really working on, time goals. Then it may be beneficial to really work with a coach. Or maybe you're also somebody that's prone to injuries or worry that you're going to get injuries. That's also a reason why you may want to work with a coach. Number two is to get that long run in. In my experience, running marathons, I have run 5 marathons at this point in my running career. And the biggest thing that I've learned with doing marathon training is making sure to get in those longer runs, making sure to get, make sure you feel like you can get to that distance. Because sometimes for many of you that are beginner runners, getting to that 26.2 mile distance can be really daunting and really scary to just have enough endurance to get to that distance. So, the biggest thing is just 1 day a week, usually on the weekend, is mostly because most people have more time, but really any day during the week that works for you, get that long run in. And the next day, you want to have a recovery day, a rest day. That should be, really simple, simple. Maybe going for a walk or yoga if you really need to move or do something, but really rest afterwards. So get that long run in. In a long run, when I talk about long runs, what I mean is at least 10 or more miles. So I think for a lot of people, it depends on where you are. But I think for most people, if you're a beginner, I'd probably start you off with doing like 10ish, and then we build from there all the way up to maybe 22, 24. But you don't necessarily have to complete all 26.2 miles in your training schedule. This is the first time you're running a marathon. Don't feel like you have to run the 26 miles before you actually do the marathon. That's okay. As long as you get to 20 miles in that training plan or that training phase, you should be able to complete the distance. At least in my experience, that was what I have found for myself, as well as working with clients, is as long as you get to about 20 miles, you are golden. You will be fine. And some tips on getting that, or on the long run. I get a lot of questions about, how to really get through that long run. And so, number one is prepare the night before. This is really, really crucial. This has helped me a ton because I go off early in the morning. Is just prepare myself ahead of time, and it even helps me to mentally prepare as well. But when I say prepare, lay out your clothes that you're going to wear, figure out your running route, figure out, the water stops, what that's going to look like. All those things. Figure out your fueling, what you're going to take. Maybe, have your hydration pack, fill that up, all that kind of stuff. Make sure you have it all. You have everything ready to go. Number two, run with friends. When you're going on these long runs, it can get really daunting and somewhat boring. It depends on, really who you are and your running experience. But I know for some people, if they're new to getting, running longer, then it can feel really long and daunting. So, one thing that really does help a lot is running with others. I know for me, I can go out and run a short run by myself all the time, but definitely for longer runs, I definitely prefer to go with people. It's just more fun. Number three, which I kind of already talked about as well, is bring hydration and fuel or know where to stop. So make sure to bring that hydration, not just water, but also electrolytes, especially if you're training right now in the summertime. We want to make sure we're bringing hydration with us, or we know where we can stop to hydrate, that sort of thing. I will say, I will caution you with the amount of times you stop, just because clients that I have worked with before that do this in their training runs and they stop, at their car to get water and that sort of thing. Just be aware that if you do that and you do that often, like every single long run, and you stop for that drink, just know mentally it's going to be tougher in the race to not do that. So just be aware of that if you're okay doing that in the race, or make sure to go on some runs and try to really run it without having that stop or carrying that hydration with you during training. And lastly, use markers. And what I mean by this is, in your head or maybe even during the route, if you know like how many miles a certain point is, think like, okay, I just got to get to this 6 miles. Okay, I just got to get through the next 6 miles. So that can be really helpful, just kind of piecing it and making it in chunks. So then the run doesn't feel as long. Say you're doing, let's say you're doing like a 20 miler, right? Or even maybe, well, probably maybe five, 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 and five, right? Break it up into that 5 miles, then 5 miles, then 5 miles, then 5 miles. Once you complete those 2 5 miles, 10 miles, you're halfway. And then you complete the next 5 miles, you're like, I'm at 3/4 of the way. Okay, I got this. Just 5 more miles. I'm almost there. So mentally, that really helps too to get through that run. And then was that it? Yeah, that was it for the long run. And then my other tips here too, just for training for a marathon, is pick days and times and block your schedule for your training. So if you are a 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. runner and that's the time that you have to do it, pick the days that you're going to do it, put it on your schedule, really block that time for your training, because that's the only way you're going to stay disciplined, is if we have this written out, we have this blocked on our schedule, or most likely something else is going to fill our schedule and it's just not going to happen. So make sure to block your schedule for the days and times that you need to go on your run, or have a written schedule, a training plan that you follow, if that works for you too. And then, last but not least, have fun. This is the hardest thing I think to actually do in marathon training, because it can get very intense. You have to stay focused, you have to stay disciplined, and it's not easy training for a marathon. It is not an easy thing to do, but be proud of yourself no matter what happens, how far you've come. Really don't compare yourself to others. Just know you're on your own journey, and just try to have fun with it as much as possible and enjoy it. Run with friends, get to that race and enjoy the energy and everything that it has, no matter what happens. Be positive that you can run, that you have the opportunity to do this and are able to do this. So, all of those things are also important as well. So, I hope those are important, helpful tips for training for a marathon. And I give my good luck to anybody that is racing this weekend or in the fall for our fall marathon season. And let's see, were there any announcements that I have? There was an announcement that somebody wanted me to announce about, I believe it's through the Health We Did It site. And hold on, I'm going to have to bring it up actually. And I may go live on Facebook and talk more about this, because I, for some reason, can't exactly remember. what it was about. Okay. Oh, here it is. Yay, I found it. All right. So that's right. There is a conference, I believe. So the Grassroots Ambassador Certification Training and Summit for Redid Health. So that is awesome. So if you want to inspire others about plant-based eating and all the benefits or want to learn more, this is a great opportunity. I believe it's virtual. It's in Ohio, but I believe it's in person and virtual. It's on June 23rd of this month. If you're interested, I can send you more information. Let me know if you like more information about that. Also, there was another announcement I had as well. Let me see here. Um, you can also, there's also a healthy vegan summer program that's running from June to September. And this is going to be really helpful if you like summer meal plans and, really helping you to, especially if you're just starting out with vegan cooking. This is a really um, great course for you if you're interested. There is a fee, and I can send you more information if you're interested um, in that. So I can give you more information on that as well. I also do have openings and availability for one-on-one clients. I'm always taking on clients if you're interested in working with me. So if you're interested in working with me, you can, easiest way would be to actually just message me on either contact me here on YouTube or email me at kaylaslaterd@gmail or find me on Facebook or Instagram. Either of those ways at work. So follow me as well on all the places. Join our Facebook community. We have a ton of information. I always am sending out free guides and things like that. So make sure you're also on the email list and information that can help you, better your health as well as performance. So thank you so much for joining, and we will talk to you next time on the Plant-Based Performance Tip Tuesdays with Coach Kayla. Bye.